Thanks very much for the invite, Shane. So I'm just here to talk about the construction I've been doing for the last couple of years and how BIM has affected how I work on site and how the information comes on site. So that's the current project I'm working on there. It's the Grangegorman Centre Quad, and that's just an extract from the model there. That's an IFC model, and it has all the different models in it. So your architectural model, your landscape model, and your mechanical and electrical, your external facade, your superstructure is within that, and all that kind of stuff. So I honestly don't claim to be an expert in BIM. I'm just speaking from experience on how I receive the information from BIM from the design team and how I try to implement it on site. So if we can just, yeah, I'll go to the, okay, so that's it just broken down, that's the superstructure. So I might just, I start at the beginning. So traditionally, like as engineers, so just a quick show of hands, just so I know my audience, is have we engineers here studying? Okay, and construction managers? So from a construction management point of view, there's been a shift in how it kind of has changed in the last few years. So traditionally, you managed construction with your drawings coming in. You had stacks of drawings from your different trades, from your architects, from your structural engineers, and that's how you managed it. You made sure everything went in the right place in relation to those drawings. But now we're tending towards a paperless environment, but there are some stumbling blocks along the way. So what we have now are models of everything that we get inside. So you'd have your model of your structural, your superstructure there, and then you'll have your architectural model that will be overlaid on that. So when you overlay your architectural model, you'll be able to see if there's any clashes or columns are in the wrong place or stuff. So that should all happen at the design stage. But as you're managing on site, you may come across issues that maybe the designers didn't pick up, or maybe you might be able to see something that just doesn't look right. So anyway, that's the superstructure there. So I go back to more basic kind of ideas there. So traditionally there on the bottom right hand corner, that would be a normal pile drawn. So you'd set out the pile drawn to the locations on that. You'd be given a set of grid lines, and then you go directly to them grid lines. And on part of our contract here, we were given all the eastings and northings in ITM coordinates, you know, the GPS coordinates. So we would have been given that. So if we were to do that in a more traditional sense, we'd manually put all of them coordinates into a machine, and you go out and you set out. But you want to skip that. You know, you want to use the model as it is and set out in accordance with the model. So you'd upload the model onto the GPS or the focus station, and you'd set it out that way. Now, I understand that it seems very, a lot of people might know this already, but so on the top right hand corner there, that's just a quick snapshot of the model, and that's an IFC model, which was done by the design team, for example. So we went to set out, we put the model straight into the machine, went to set out the percentage of the piles from that model. But when you go out to set out from the model, you soon realise that the machine may not recognise the centre point of the pile, so you're kind of back to where you started. So you have to maybe manipulate the software. So the way we done it is we had to, because we didn't know, we had to extract it into a CAD file and then locate all the centres on the CAD file and then re-upload it in the thing. So you're doing something 2 or 3 times there, which you really shouldn't be doing. But sometimes the way the models are drawn, the way the designers do them and stuff like that, that kind of leads to them kind of issues or challenges on site. So say you could look at it as lessons learned. So for the next project, when you're bringing your design team in, you want to be talking to the design team and getting them to issue their models so that you can use them on site and you can, you can work with it more efficiently rather than having to take a step back to go forward. If we were also, an issue we had on our site was the model was always in the design folder. The model's design, and all the drawings are extracted from that model, and the drawings are in the construction folder. So if you were to go with the model, you're technically using the design drawing because the model is within the design elements of the drawing. So you would be doing that at risk. So in order to mitigate that, even if we want to be more efficient, you'd use the model, but you'd just cross-reference it with a few of the northings and eastings just to make sure everything's in the right place. So even though you're going BIM, some contracts are done in a way that you contractually are kind of tied from actually using the model to set out. But the way you actually genuinely want to be going forward, you want to be using the model to set out all elements. So that's kind of just a basic thing on the piles. And the next thing is this is just a snapshot from one of the levels of the superstructure. So the way the model was drawn up on the superstructure was a lot handier. So the machine we were using to set out could recognise every corner of a column, could recognise every corner of a wall, so it was very easy just to set out the point. And then if you were clever with the machine, you could do offsets from the corners and do your parallel lines. And then also all the grid lines on the model, they were all ITM grid lines, so you could just set them out directly from the model, and you didn't have to square it up on traditionally the way you'd square it up and set out a standard set of grids. It's all square for you. Now, again, I know a lot of you might know that anyway, but some issues we had, or again, challenges we had with the model. Sometimes the model gets updated. It's one of the things with BIM, I guess, or the way models are done these days. And on one of the levels, the entire superstructure moved to the west 100 mil, which is a big deal, you know. And but we caught it, you know, we spotted it because that's what you do as engineers. You can't assume anything's right. You have to look out for this and you have to spot it. But stuff like that happening on models and the drawings that are extracted from models. So it would happen on the model, and then you extracted it, and it was in the construction drawing as well. So it wasn't copped, you know, on either step. But when we were setting out, we copped it because that's not good. And then we went back and we figured it all out. What the point I'm trying to get to is there are problems or mistakes that are happening now that may not have happened years ago because of the way models and stuff are coming in. There's challenges and stuff that we actually don't know about because we don't have the experience to know about them. So, how do I explain? What BIM has done, it is the way to go, and if you're ignoring it, you're just going to be left behind. But what it is doing, it's introducing new challenges that we haven't experienced before, and challenges that engineers like myself, who's been working in the game for whatever, nearly 20 years or something like that, I've come across issues and problems with drawings and things not lining up, which I've experienced, and I've made mistakes like that throughout my life. But there's new mistakes coming up, and I'm not saying they're big. I'm just saying they're different. What BIM is doing is introducing challenges that we may not have the experience in, introducing mistakes or stuff that we're only starting to learn the answers to and the solutions to. So that's kind of how I'm trying to break that down. Even the grid lines were off by 100 mil on that one, so kind of threw the whole thing out. But that's neither here nor there. So anyway, I go on to the basement. So this particular drawing shows the design drain is in the brown and the actual as-built is in the white. So I'm trying to be proactive on site. So all the design elements that's going in. So instead of just going to BIM engineers, trying to upskill the engineers just working on site. So any engineers that will be coming along, or construction managers coming along, like for students or something, who'd be working on the teams I'd be working on, I'd be trying to get them to learn the software. Now, you probably are aware of the software, Revit or Civils 3D or Tekla or whichever particular ones. There's different ones for the different elements you can design in. But we'd be doing all our as-builts, so you'd end up putting them in a DXF file, and then you'd end up actually modelling it in as you're going, rather than putting it in a big pack and sending it off to a specific BIM engineer at the end of the project, and maybe having to do that 2 or 3 times because the information, he might be aware of the information or doesn't know how you log it and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get the engineers to be BIM engineers as well, because as engineers going forward, we need to know the technology we're using, and we need to be aware of the software and how to use it and be more efficient with it. So anyway, that's just a basic idea. You have three major models of that. You have the superstructure, you have the drainage, and you have the as-built drainage as well. And again, we used the GPS coordinates and the levels directly on the machine to set that out. So we didn't have to, so there was a schedule of invert levels for all the chambers. But that schedule was extracted from the model. So we went to the model to set it out. But we had to check what they'd done to make sure, because again, we were doing that at risk the way the project was, you know. So anyway, I will just go on to one of the rooms. So this is kind of getting into the more kind of complicated area of it. So I kind of went through how just the basic structure was set out. But we're now in, say, one of the rooms here where is it's one of the science labs. So you have a bunch of various models that are on this. So you have I think that's the architect's external facade, but there's actually, we had technicals as well on the job, and technically actually have their own model overlaid on this model as well. You have so the architect's internal model, and it shows all the TVs up at the top, and then you have a separate model for all the furniture, and you actually have a separate model for all the soffits on the furniture, and you have a separate model for the fume cupboards, and they're all just put together into one federated model. So that's it, just as you see it on the plan view. And if I go to the next one, you're just cutting that a little bit higher, so you can see all the extract fans and all the lights and stuff there at the higher level. You can see some of the gas extract there from the fume cupboard, and so that's it again. And then if I go again, that's what's in all the ceilings in all the rooms. So it's a college, but it's very complicated. The only other buildings I can think that are discongested with services, or more congested with services, would be data centres or say hospitals. So this particular, well, again, we're in the Grangegorman DIP. So this here has a lot of various elements on it. So how do I go? And obviously clash detection and stuff like that. But there are so many elements in it that it actually became very difficult to keep all the models right, to stop the clashes and stuff. And also, there are, so that's it there from an elevation, so you have your two fume cupboards there, you have your extract fans, you have your gas intake, and behind all that again there's a load of sockets, and you can't really see it on that drawing, so we went to, so this elevation here is that elevation again, but it has all your sockets at the low level there, but when we talk to the fume extract, the fume cupboard supplier, he actually leaves the sockets at the top, so we go, right, we need to move the sockets on the top. Right, okay, you model that. No, actually, that's that guy's model. He needs to model. Right, okay, can we get him to do it? Right. So this went over and back, so we didn't have time to do it. So we said, right, we just redline it. Which redline is you actually print it off and you actually scribble in, not scribble in, but put in your dimensions and say exactly where everything's going so that you can keep the job moving. And I know you're taking two steps back, or a step back, and you're going to a paper environment, because this is done with a red pen and paper. It's right, but it's just done, it's the fastest way of doing it. And you're still keeping all the standards, you're still keeping the heights right, you're still keeping everything in the right place. A lot of stuff there had to be moved around the doors and stuff so that it's at the right level. This only represents one of a lot of different rooms, and it's actually one of the less complicated rooms. So, and when you actually go to different contractors and the different requirements you need, you find out you have to do a lot of changing. And then when it comes to like quantity surveyors and getting contractors on board, a lot of them contractors might be late on board, and say they're providing kitchen or units and stuff like that. They go, actually no, our unit is twice the size of what you have in the model there. So you have to. It's about trying to bring everyone on board, and on a project this complex, you end up doing this kind of stuff to try and get ahead of it. But if I went back one, it's retrospectively getting modelled up, but it's just something we had to do in the meantime to make sure everything was pushed forward. And again, it's one of the challenges that this new kind of age of technology is bringing with us. And if we had more experience in it, but we're getting experience because this is our learning curve, hopefully, then that means you can reduce the amount of this work that's been done on the next project. So as students and managers and contractors as you're going in, there's been a shift in how stuff has moved along. So again, we're here again. This is just another typical room. This is more. So your sockets there on the walls, but even the furniture needs extra vacuum and natural gas. It's just the job is so complex that a lot of the requirements within the rooms weren't captured in the model originally, but they're now being updated, but it's also happening on site at the same time. So it's kind of, you find yourself chasing your tail if you don't go completely prepared. And that's where I am. Yeah. And that was just a basic idea on BIM and how we're managing on site. That's it.